up your shirt.
Bow, 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 bow.
Fascinating.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Original Series rewatch, recap, and review podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordal-Quinnell, and my co-host with the mo-host,
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Al Hirt here. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt. What is up indeed? I'll tell you what, every week we get together in the San Fernando Valley in Southern California to discuss an episode of Star Trek The Original Series. We don't get super bogged down in lore or production stuff or whatever.
Yeah, we just kind of shoot the shit and
Like,
just have
what-
our takes on it.
What if two medium idiots watched Star Trek, and what do they have to say about it? Al, I believe, got into Star Trek with Next Generation. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it. We talked about it in the first episode, but some people are probably new.
Yeah.
I as well got into it with Next Generation, and I got COVID in 2022, and I watched the remastered Star Treks, and I went, fuck, these are real good. I should do a podcast about them. So there you go. That's how we got here. And this is like episode 80-something,
Yeah, here we are.
86 or something of Trek in the Valley. And so each week we talk about an episode of Star Trek The Original Series. We give it a little recap, a little review, chat about it. Then we recommend something else that's not Star Trek related for you to watch or listen to. And that's pretty much the whole thing. But we like to start every episode with a little segment I like to call, What Does Al Remember? What does Al remember about last week's episode? So last week's episode, do you remember what the title?
Not at all.
If I told you it was The Way to Somewhere.
Oh, The Way to Eden.
There you go. The Way to
remember now.
Eden.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I remember just based off the image that you posted, excuse me.
Oh, there you go. So
Yeah.
So what do you remember about season 3, episode 20 of Star Trek The Original Series, The Way to Eden?
They just run into, like, the Enterprise, the crew. They run into people that are, like, free-minded, I guess, like, not technology based. They're kind of like coming off as a cult, and then the episode kind of gets PSA like. Then there's a lot of music.
PSA, like, that's a
For
good,
sure.
That's a great
especially
description
with the
of
checkoff
it.
parts. It felt like they were smearing it on pretty hard.
It's like in Futurama when they're like, don't date robots.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think what else happened? I just remember like how much buildup it was to how defiant they were against the Enterprise. Like this pack of 5 or 6 people, you know,
These folk song
people,
singing
yeah.
hippies.
Oh my gosh! And the songs lasted for a really long time. I remember.
There was a lot of music.
But then the thing was, they were on their way searching for an Eden. Spock was like, "I'm merely curious because I don't think a planet like this exists, so I just want to find out." And Kirk's like, "Stop fucking goading them, damn it!" And then they get to said planet, and then they're all excited, and they somehow the Enterprise crew teleports down there right before some of the other people make it. Mm-hmm, one of the members is dead, Adam, right? Because he had the apple.
He ate the poison apple.
There we go. That's pretty much why they called him that. And then the leader of the crew comes down, and what is it? I guess he like kind of just. They kind of, you know, they're like, "Hey, the jig is up," you know, like go back to the Enterprise. He's like, "No, fuck you guys, no." And then they're like, or he tries climbing into a tree.
He acts like a wild animal man.
Pretty much. And they're like, "No, don't eat that, no." And he eats this fruit and he keels over and dies.
Good job.
The end. And they're like, shit.
That was a good job.
But what did they do with the other ones again? Did they They take them to the Enterprise, right?
They take them back to wherever they're from.
Yeah.
They're going to go to a starbase, and then they're all just going to
right.
get sent back to their rich fucking parents because they were all like trust fund kids.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those kids was the son of
the senator or some shit.
A negotiator, a chief negotiator.
Yeah.
Because there was this backdrop of the Federation is in negotiations with this planet. These dissidents, these hippies, were like a huge sticking point.
Yeah. Oh, and they called Kirk a Herbert.
Oh, Herbert! We gotta, dude. Don't be a Herbert, because Herbert was like a douchebag, and that's why they called him that. A square, if you will, an L7 loser. He wasn't with it, hip or cool. But yeah,
Spock
so
was down though.
Let's see what else. Other way of eating it took a lot of it took place in Romulan space, but they never saw Romulan. It always seems like the second somebody crosses into Romulan space, they get picked up. But they didn't want to pay anybody to play Romulans. They were like, we took up the budget buying these original songs about finding a planet called Eden.
And these weird guitars that we made just for this episode.
Very weird guitars. But yeah, that was the way to Eden. And this week, we are talking about Season 3, Episode 21 of Star Trek The Original Series. The Cloudminders.
Oh, yeah.
So the Cloudminders, I love the title. It's like something you would see the title of like a 1920s cult, like key paperback, like a sci-fi paperback, like The Cloudminders. And it aired originally on February 28th, 1969. Nice. And the synopsis from our brilliant scribe, our Shane Black over at Paramount Plus, who does the synopsises. It's Kirk is forced into negotiating peace on a planet with severe class iniquities.
Wow.
And you might be asking yourself, is he on Earth? Oh, shit.
That's the twist, folks.
It's funny because remember when they used to do twists like that?
Yeah.
Where the twist would be like, it was Earth the whole... They had like 5 episodes where they're like, it was Earth the whole time, shitheads. And now they haven't gone back to that well.
No, yeah. I think this is like... What, end of the line? I don't know. It's not that it's bad. I was actually going to say I really like this episode compared to the last one. This feels like a complete thought. You know, like, even if the guest stars were bad, the plot's still good. Even if the plot was bad, the crew's doing just fine. And, like, you know, the situation around them's entertaining enough, you know, for you to pay attention. But they all nailed it. Everything. Yeah.
And it is a lot of the stuff I'm interested in, like classism and, you know, like... It is an allegory for what we've got. It's not. There's literally nothing subtle about this episode, which is fine. But you know that's what sci-fi. It feels like real ass sci-fi in the sense that it's like taking a critical point of view on this because it shows obviously this planet isn't going to make it with all this strife, so they have to change. But it opens. With, of course, you mentioned it before we started watching it.
Oh, yeah? What they're zipping around up there? Oh, no. A plague.
Yeah, they're zooming around out there. But there's a plague, and there was just a plague, if you remember, a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And so there's only one substance that can halt the plague, and it's on a planet called Ardana.
Which they just signed up for the Federation. I guess they just joined them and they just had no idea what was going on.
That's what's so funny. Like, yeah, because we find out that there's some real problems with these motherfuckers that the Federation should have vetted. But they're a new Federation planet, I guess. I hope.
Who knows?
I hope.
We're still in the early years here.
Well, so they're gonna beam down. The advisor of the planet is asking them to beam down to Stratos, their cloud city, and Kirk is like, "Why the fuck would we do that? We're going down to the mine. We got to get the Xenite, baby. That's the thing they need. They got to get that Xenite."
And it's so funny too. He was like, "Scotty, where's the transporter directed? The mine or the the entrance to the Cloud City. And he was like, no, it's the mining entrance.
Of course.
Just like you said.
That's
sir.
where the fucking Xenite is,
And he's
motherfucker.
like, okay, perfect. Thank you.
So,
just wanted to make sure.
because
it was really weird. He does that a lot this episode, too.
apparently this mineral Xenite is the only thing that can stop this plague.
Man.
Oh, shit.
But, I mean, objectively,
no.
they need to finish the mission. So,
Oh, no.
you know, they got to acquire the Xenite ASAP.
Oh shit! And so there's a great remastered shot of a planet that the Enterprise is. It's like a red planet, Mars looking, but with an atmosphere.
Yeah.
And Kirk and Spock beam down to it's the entrance to the mine, and then you see Stratos in the sky. A very hilarious. It's like a Super Mario Cloud City.
Does.
Like they got like a castle on a cloud.
Or it's what is it called? It looks like it's made of like cake. You know, it's all like covered in what's it called?
Fondant.
Fondant. Yeah, it looks just like a weird fondant castle.
Yeah, it definitely. It's like, is it cake? Netflix reference. So they're looking for something called the Xenite consignment. That's a pile of Xenite that they're going to use to stop this plague. But there's nobody around, man. Like Kirk and Spock are like, we're supposed to pick up this consignment, but there's fucking nobody around.
Yeah.
And the miners are called troglodytes. And I was like, that seems a little close to troglodyte. And it's like, that will be important later because that is not subtle. They are definitly conjuring that up. And so
they
then
have way cooler costumes actually than their counterparts too.
Shit.
So
yeah, they do. They look like kind of like Devo meets Slipknot.
yeah,
like it's like Slipknot, like jumpsuit, but then like Devo glasses, or like they look like the neutrinos from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Guys like, yeah, man. Cool, Daddy-O. But these are the troglodyte miners, and they lasso Kirk and Spock.
just so easily, just immediately. And you're like, all right, they're not going to get hurt. We got two main characters here, no red shirts, so
red shirts. No red shirts. You'd think they would have a red shirt that would get killed when they get captured. And
but
they use this shot of the terrain on Ardana or whatever the name of this place is a bunch of times for the Cloudminders credit title card. Looked fucking awesome.
they use that shot so much
they
later.
use this like shot of the topography of the area. And so it's a lady in a purple jumpsuit with the futuristic visor with the slits in the eyes, RoboCop visor. Kirk and Spock fight back. They get away from these troglodyte miners after getting poked at and almost stabbed. There's a good tussle.
A really great sequence though, and Spock do this karate chop, and then Spock's awkwardly like shoving this lady over because he's not trying to like punch her.
Right? I didn't notice that the first time.
Oh, it's great.
But he's got like this. He pushes her hip with his hand to push her over, and she's like, ah.
Oh, and I think it was like right after that, there's a guy that just flops right onto Kirk if you rewind it.
Yeah.
But he's just so direct that he just flops right on him like a pancake.
It's
really awkward.
The old Kirk flop.
Yeah, no, it's crazy here, right here. You gotta.
I'm watching.
So
I'm
like,
oh my
up.
God!
Yeah, and it's just,
somebody just
red
throws
guy just lays
himself
on him.
like it honestly looked like a dummy that got thrown into the shot. And Kirk's tussling with the purple redhead.
And you're like, uh-oh, here we go again.
They're already in love, even though they're fighting.
Yeah, geez. Hopefully, I don't think the script went that way. I think that's what made this episode a little better.
Oh, this motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden, the people who they're supposed to meet up with, I guess, just show up. And they kind of just, I guess, it's giving Gestapo vibes of just them shoving the miners away.
Yeah, they just show up and shoot them.
They just shoot them.
They shoot at the miners. They kind of shoot into the air to scare them out. Like, yeah, get out of here, miners.
And he's like, get out of here, scatter.
And this is Placis, who's the head advisor of the planet.
Good guest star, by the way.
Oh my God, Jeff Corey is this guy's name.
Shout out Jeff Corey.
And he is, I want to say, more than likely dead. Yep, since 2002.
Whoa.
His last role. Oh, he was on an episode of Charmed. That's what I recognize him from, I'm sure.
Oh, cool.
Episode of Charmed. Good for you, man. He kind of looked, in some of those black and white photos on IMDb, he looked like Mark Twain. And so, so there is a terrorist group called the Disruptors, not the rock and roll band, the Disruptors.
No.
But a group of troglodytes that are completely dominated by the Disruptors. And the Disruptors are why they're refusing to deliver the Xenite to the Federation.
See, it's the action of it's an action of those few that conveniently, paint all the troglodytes as like these bad people,
right?
And from the get-go, you're already seeing these little seeds get planted,
right? And so there's definitely something going on here, as you can tell. You should never trust people in power.
Yes.
But he's basically saying they wanted to trick Kirk and Spock to catch them and have high value. The high value prisoners. But then you're like, what's really the end game? Oh, we find out what the end game is. They have demands. So the Disruptors have it's basically like union demands, kind of, because they're all miners, right? And not
they're all work.
Yeah, they're all. There's that shot of the fucking landscape again. So
yeah, they all transport from the surface to the Cloud City
to Stratos.
And
then they look down over the balcony, and we see that shot of Stratos that they used on the title card. It looks like Mars, like the rivers on Mars photos that you see.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. Pretty intimidating though, from a balcony.
Yeah, dude. And then we meet Placis's daughter, Droxine, who is the princess, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, this is creepy. He calls his daughter one of the planet's most prized works of art.
Yeah, right.
He's a real piece of shit, this guy.
Dude, but Spock has a slam dunk here. It's crazy. Because he bows to the princess, and she goes, "I've never met a Vulcan before." And he goes, "Nor I a work of art, madam."
Yeah, dude. Spock's like...
And I was like, whoa, shit, okay.
She's like, sploosh. Sploosh. So basically, the reason these Stratos motherfuckers have all this art is because they don't have to worry about anything. They just live up on Stratos. They make art. They sing songs. They do art.
What else do you do?
Right? And they just they find that there's a piece of art missing, and there's a minor tool that the Disruptors left in its place, like a weapon that they use. That's a tool that they use for their mining. And there's a piece of art that's missing, and Droxine is like, they want to despoil us, and they're like, why would they want to despoil us? And they said, they're just mad about their treatment on the surface, but that's how it's always been. And then Spock says, but all the plant life has died on the surface. Like, don't you think all the biological life will follow? And the guy's like, they're fine.
Yeah, and then it's like, why? I don't know. You see bit by bit Spock kind of unpeeling how weird this prejudice is and how bizarre this fight is.
Yes.
And, Placis just isn't having it. And it's just saying they're destroying art because they don't understand. They're not educated enough to get this.
Yeah, and we know what's best for them because they're stupid and poor.
Yeah, no, they're oof.
And so
another catchphrase there.
So we get a moment with Placis and his daughter Droxine where it's just the two of them talking about how they've got this issue between Ardana and the Federation. They want to figure stuff out. They need to have a positive relationship with the Federation, right? And I kind of thought that she was going to end up being the person on the inside that's giving secrets. It seemed like she might, but she's just a piece of shit. And I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
They really tease in this first act that she might have some kind of sympathy. And also she's totally got the Jones for Spock.
Oh yeah. But, I think it was just to show how ignorant they are, It's got to pass on for generations and generations to keep going. I feel like only after that moment of force, when Spock was like, I wonder what would happen if we paired both these women together and they compared their situations, Right? That's the only way that they really convince each other. So maybe it's years of all this fucking
hundreds
stereotypes
of years. Yeah,
and
no, it's a whole thing.
Fighting.
And so then 2 guards come in with a troglodyte, and they make him take off his shields. And he kind of looks like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, dressed as a troglodyte.
Yeah.
And they're questioning, they're like, you don't have a travel pass. Why are you on Stratos? He was like, I was repairing panels.
Yeah,
and they're like, you
seriously.
must have a permit. He's like, I forgot it. And they're like, you forget your transport card as well? And he's like, yes, your people attacked me and I lost it. But we find out that is not the case. He is a spy, and he does commit suicide in a hilarious way. No, sorry.
Dark.
Content warning, suicide. He runs past them and jumps off the balcony, and then there's a hilarious shot of that same shot of the terrain and the clouds with just a little guy going, ah.
It's like when Wile E. Coyote just...
Yes. Oh, my God. It was giving Wile E. Coyote for sure.
No, but the dark side, though, that the context, I was just like, dude, my man's going to fall for like a half hour. Like,
right? Yeah, they're
so
up in the clouds,
up, like,
right?
That's awful. And, it's just to show, like, they're willing to die for their cause. And they're just like, fuck you, I won't tell you anything. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Though.
And so Stratus is basically like Elysium from the movie, or Elysian from the movie Elysian, starring Matt Damon. And let's see here. So basically, there's also at around 11 minutes and 45 seconds, there's a great voiceover from Spock where it's not like a first officer's log or anything. He's just he's just waxing poetic about how charming the advisor's daughter is. He says, the name Droxine seems appropriate for her. I wonder, can she retain such purity and sweetness of mind and be aware of the life of the people on the surface of the planet? He's basically asking, can this bitch have empathy?
Yeah.
No offense to, I don't want to use the word bitch like that,
No,
but can this lady have empathy?
And he's having like this internal monologue, like an anime, and then we're having like these weird, like edited shots on top of each other. And he's like, the woman that attacked us also has the same amount of violence. And if only Droxine knew this woman's misery, like I was referencing to before, just like
how would it affect her?
Hey, maybe we should compare each other's situations. It's giving like, what's it called? To Kill a Mockingbird, with the whole, hey, put on somebody else's shoes. Like,
right? Yes.
What would you think?
And then, so Spock is basically asking, can this lady have empathy? And then he walks into her chambers, and he's like, Kirk is resting. I woke up because you were walking around in here. I'm a light sleeper. I got big ears.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody watching from the wings as he's talking about Stratos' inhabitants. And this is where she breaks the facade. Wait, what does she get? So she's talking about how Vulcans are highly evolved. He says, we pride ourselves on our logic. Oh, we don't know that she's a piece of shit yet. And then it cuts to
not yet.
Kirk laying down in his bedroom, and he's doing the old laying flat on his back with his hands folded over his tummy. You know how you sleep.
Yeah.
Like when you go to bed. Like whenever I go to bed, I lay on my back like a corpse, and I fold my hands over my fucking tummy. And then that same lady from earlier, but wearing a dress, sneaks up on Kirk while he's sleeping, and she's got a trowel in her hand.
Hey, man, like, I've slept with a book on my lap like that before,
Nah, that's okay, but I'm saying he clearly wasn't asleep.
Oh, no,
like,
of course. He's
playing possum,
he's
as
captain,
they say.
He's captain of a starship. He's got to sleep with one eye open.
Mm-hmm. So they catch Vana, who's played by Charlene Polite. And
shout out Charlene.
Charlene Polite. And basically she's saying she'd rather die than answer his questions. And then motherfucking Droxine in the other room is interrogating Spock about the Ponfar. Spock
I know.
is like,
it's so weird.
Spock is like, we only get hard every 7 years.
She's like, oh my God.
And she's like, is there anything you can do to disrupt the cycle and
yeah, right.
maybe get hard now instead of 7 years from now? And so she's all over him, and you still don't know that she's a gross fascist yet. And then because they're teasing that out, they want you to like her still. And then it cuts to Kirk calling for Spock, and there's Vana, and we find out that Droxine knows Vana. What? Because Vana used to work for her. She served in her father's household.
What? The drama. We got some soap opera drama here.
Right? And so here's what Vanna and the disruptors don't understand. She says that the Enterprise is there to intimidate the miners who are airing their grievances. And Kirk is like, we're literally transporting cargo. And she's like, your warship like that doesn't just fucking transport cargo.
He's like, yeah, sometimes we do.
Actually, he's like,
pretty much it's most of the job that we do.
He's like, yeah, you would think. You would think we wouldn't, but here we are. So, we've got bottles of water for you up there.
Our ship has shrunk more than it's seen, actual combat.
And so basically Vanna is pleading her case. She's like, we want to live up here too. And she says, but you're not accustomed to our light, just as your minds are not accustomed to our logic. Cut to Spock, raising his eyebrow, ooh, don't you? You're basically saying they're dumb.
Yeah, no, and it was just a whole ironic take of her not being logical about just judging this person as well. It's she kind of put her foot in her mouth.
Yeah, because because Kirk is like, wait a second, light and warmth, that's what all biological life needs, necessary to all humanoids. Surely you don't deny it to the troglodytes. And she says, the troglodytes are workers, Captain. Surely you must be aware of that. They mine Xenite from the soil. Those things can't be done up here.
And it's hard cut to Spock just being so visibly confused, and he just tilts his head are you serious?
Yeah, and he's basically saying, so you make them work, but you don't let them have any of the benefits of their work. They're not allowed to share in the advantages. She's like, they wouldn't know what to do. They're fucking morons. Don't you get it?
And he's like, Kirk goes, why don't you teach them? I mean, you are engaged in fucking enlightenment and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And she says, this is a perfectly balanced system and we're doing everything right. Why should we change it? And Spock is like, the surface is uninhabitable, man. Why would you make those people go through such hardship?
Bullshit, yeah.
And she just looks so confused. She says, the surface is marred by violence like the troglodytes.
Jeez. No, and also that Spock has a really good point where he was just making these people suffer on the surface, it's signs of an unevolved culture. And it's funny that he says that because I always tell a lot of people, it's not out of moral good that people just decided to give up slavery. It was just that, it started as a whole rumor thing of it just seems old fashioned. Oh man, that's really fucked up.
That's
you're gonna
part
keep
of it.
Using it. Oh, for sure, that was part of it. It was so weird that that's how people use that as a convincing argument, though, because it's disgusting. It's so.
That's
fucked
how they
up.
got
It's
to the
just
idiots. That's how they made the case to the dumbasses.
For sure, yeah.
So, cut to Vanna is being tortured by the advisor Placis, and fucking Droxine is just standing there. They've got her tied to a big marble pillar, and then there's another arching pillar pointing at her.
Yeah.
And he turns it on, and she flashes pink and purple and green,
like the lights.
And he's like, and Kirk is like, don't torture her, and he's like, there's no other way we're gonna get to find out where your Xenite is, and you need the Xenite, don't you? Yeah. And this is such a enlightened argument. They're basically arguing using torture to get information, and Kirk is like, you don't actually get good information from that.
Yeah,
and then
he's like, why? And he's like, probably because they're being tortured, you know?
Spock says, she says, Droxine says, this is all that they understand. And he goes, but they should have equality, kindness, justice. And then Placis is like, whoa. They're a conglomerate of inferior species. What the fuck,
He's
dude?
like, these abstract conceptions, it would just blow their minds. It's too much for them.
Right? And Placis is now getting upset that he's being judged by these Federation people for wanting to do torture.
Yeah, he's like, why are you so concerned about these people's well-beings? And Kirk's like, well, because they have my fucking mineral that I need, Xenite that I need too, right?
Kirk, yes, but Kirk is mainly saying because it's the right thing to do.
Of course,
this guy is making it about the Xenite. He's like, the only way you can get the Xenite back is if we torture this lady, and then he tells them to leave.
But he goes, hey, that's not really an effective way, though. Like, he's still Kirk's kind of, leaning in on his side. Well, not his side, but just, like, trying to easily convince him, until he just completely, we'll see. And then later in the episode, he loses it.
Right? And then the guy tells them to leave, and I'll tell you when I got the fucking Zenite. Get out of here.
Yeah,
and
basically.
And then as soon as they leave, he's like, next time Kirk comes down here, fucking kill him.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay, jeez.
Like, what's that about?
That was a leap.
And now we get the old Star Trek ticking clock. They've got 12 hours before the planet is annihilated that planet is annihilated by the plague. Mm-hmm. And Placis has given them a non-interference with the troglodytes because they can't use reason. And Bones is like, why don't you just go talk to him? And he's like, we can't. But Bones is actually on their... Bones says, no, the troglodytes really are dumb. They're on average 20% as smart. Like, it's not... Yeah. I'm not making it up. I'm not judging them. It's like a biological thing. And so him and Spock and Kirk discuss it. And it turns out that it's got to be because of the mining on the planet, right?
Yeah, it's a gas.
There's a gas that affects the natural brain growth. And there's a gas in the Zenite, right? And
it's affecting the bacteria or the life, the plant life, on the surface.
And they say that, but Zenite gets sent around all over the galaxy. People aren't getting sick like that, but it's when it's being mined in its raw state. It makes you violent and releases your emotions, makes you dumb. And so they're saying, but if we just make it so they're not exposed to it, they'll be better. They can get better, and then they'll be able to think.
Yeah, two birds, one stone. I mean, we get our Zenite. They get these filtration masks or something. They'll figure it out.
So
right?
Very topical. The next scene is basically Kirk trying to explain filtration masks to Placis. Now remember, Placis wouldn't give a shit if every troglodyte died, which is fucked up because their society runs on what the troglodytes produce. That's where this whole where this whole ruling class, working class thing falls apart.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Spock brings up like, hey, I don't necessarily like you, but you should probably help these fucking people on the surface mining anyways, even a little bit, Yep. Like, they're still trying to give them good advice at the end of the day, and they're trying to be as formal about it as possible, which is always the Starfleet way.
Exactly. And to solve it with science. So they say, hey, we've got these filtration masks that we can give you that will reverse the effects of the Zenite poisoning, gas poisoning, and then they'll be smart and you'll all be able to live together. And Placis is like, you really think you can do what centuries of evolution have failed to do? They're trying to prove, like, yes, they can. And so...
Yeah, I love how every episode, or every couple episodes, though, people are like, what? That's crazy. You can't do that. It's been this way on this planet for hundreds of years. And it's like, well, there's never been an Enterprise ship that's fucking stopped by. There's never been a Federation for hundreds of years. Like, give us some leeway here. We're a spaceship. We're making some magic fantasy science happen right now.
Yup. And they can't, all Kirk wants to do is give these masks to the Zenites, or to the troglodytes in exchange for the Zenite, right?
Exactly.
And
they're like, we'll leave. Like, you guys could still keep arguing.
and they're definitely going to come back. They say that, too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But he's like saying, you can't conduct tests, you can't go down there. He's saying, Kirk is saying, I'm here to get the Zenite, giving these masks can help me get it. Placis is like, your Federation doesn't let you defy local governments. This communication is ended. And then he hangs up. I love that. That's how I'm going to hang up. This communication has ended.
Click.
And then Kirk beats himself up. He's like, my diplomacy was inadequate. And Kirk is like, these people are Nazis, dude. It's hard to fight against that.
Yeah, Bones was like, it's hard to overcome prejudice.
And that one
stubbornness.
That one motherfucker, Placis, was even trying to say Vana wouldn't even want those masks. They don't give a shit. They're stupid. And so of course Spock is like, look, or Kirk is like, look, unofficially,
they run their own system, right?
He's like, I gotta go down there. You guys can't come with. You have to have plausible deniability.
I feel like his ploy, too, though, is like, well, they're technically the other half of the planet, so they're not really under their rules. So they're just gonna. I can just
He
go
knows
over
it's
there and
wrong.
go behind his back, right? Like that's
He
like
knows.
that's like kind of his leeway out of it. You know, he's like, I'm not really in control of what the troglodytes do to me, right?
And so
His
basically,
Kirk way.
this is so funny because it's just like during the pandemic when they were trying to get people to wear masks. He's like, look, do you think you could get your people to wear these masks? And if I help you, will you give me the Xenite? And she's like, Placis doesn't want you to do this, right? And he's like, no. And so they're just like, Kirk is saying, just give us the Xenite. We'll be right back. We're going to go deliver it. And then we're going to come back.
Yeah,
and then we can help
how do
you.
I know I can trust you, though? That's a little messed up. You're just running, fucking beaming in here randomly.
I give you my word. And she says, centuries ago, Stratos was built by leaders that gave their word to all inhabitants would live there. The troglodytes are still waiting. Basically, the troglodyte ancestors helped them build Stratos and then just got to, like, toil in the mines fucking forever.
That's bad.
Yep, and she says the Xenite can be delivered in a few hours. You won't have long to wait. She says hours can be centuries, just as words can be lies. See, she doesn't seem too Xenite poisoned, but it's because she worked on the surface for a long time. She hasn't been down there her whole life.
Jeez.
And he's trying to say a whole planet's going to die if we don't get the Xenite, and this filter mask is all that can save the troglodytes.
He's like, you guys pretty much have a better fighting chance with these masks.
Yeah, right? They should just beam down a bunch of masks and just be like, fight the fucking Stratos people. You have mining equipment. They're puds. They don't have anything. They got no weapons.
Yeah, seriously.
And then she tells him, fine, I'll trust you. The consignment lies deep in the mines, known only to troglodytes. I'm trusting you. Are you going to trust me? She's got food being delivered by a Stratos guy. He finds the mask, gets phasered. They get out. Another shot of the terrain looking like a topical map of Mars.
Yes.
And he's just carrying that fucking mask with him. You should put that on, dog. You're going down into the mines.
He eventually does. I don't remember when.
He does. She gets in there and she knocks on the wall and these troglodytes come up. And guess what happens?
Yeah, and she's like, guess what, guys? And he's like, well, I got a hostage. And then it just hard cuts the Kirk being like, yeah, I can't believe you betrayed me like this.
He's wearing the mask, yeah. And he's like, she's like, you thought you could trick me with your filtered mask and your unseen gas. Yeah, I don't believe it any more than Placis does. So they don't believe
like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to help you, please. Or what? This is freedom.
Yeah, and she says weapons are our freedom, and you furnished us with 2 because he's got phasers on him, and she's just like my men will come. He's like, my men will come and find me, and they're like, they won't find you without your communicator, etc., etc. And so they're gonna make him dig the Xenite with his hands,
right, to make him see how it feels.
Mm-hmm. Cut to Spock at the con on the bridge of the Enterprise. There's no information from the captain. They're not communicating with the high advisor.
So they just gotta be quiet. They gotta chill there, which kind of sucks.
Yep.
And it hard cuts to Kirk on the planet
in the mines,
digging out this rock.
Yeah, and one of the troglodytes wants to kill Kirk. The other one wants to use him as a hostage. And so she kind of seems like she's like a disruptor leader that's above these troglodytes. Mm-hmm. And then they start kind of arguing because they know that Stratos people are going to show up. And then we find out that their leader is named Anka. And so basically he's just saying, how long are you going to keep me here? And she's like, as long as it takes to get what we want, to get our concessions from the people of Stratos.
Yeah, he's like, are you just going to keep killing people like just constantly? What's your point? What's your end game here?
I don't even know if they've killed anyone.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know. Kirk was kind of getting ahead of himself there.
And then Kirk gets his phaser and he seals him and Vanna into this cave.
I was laughing really hard. I was like, damn, he really missed, huh? And then I was like, never mind.
And here's the rub. So Kirk has trapped him and Vanna in this cave. And then he reaches out to the Enterprise with his communicator. And, of course, they can just hear him. Usually in a cave, they have a tough time.
Seriously.
They did a pretty good job with this one.
Yeah.
And so Kirk says, I want you to beam the lead advisor Placis down into this cave, locate the high advisor, and beam him down here, but surprise him.
Yeah, without advanced communication.
Repeat, without advanced communication. Have you got that, Spock?
And Spock's like, yeah, instructions clear.
Yeah, I get it. I speak your Earth English, Captain.
No, and it's also like at this point, I think the gas already kind of affected Kirk. I think he's kind of just like, fuck this, let's just get this shit going. And I think as soon as he seals that cave from here on out, this episode's pretty good.
Yeah, man.
It cranks up.
And he's saying, I'm going to prove to you the existence of unbelievable gas, which just means he's going to like shit himself. I don't know.
He's like, no, I want to figure out what this gas does, and we're going to stay trapped. And she's like, but there's going to be no oxygen. And he's like, I know. It's the gas.
We're going to huff the fucking gas, Valna. Don't you get it? And so look at this. We paused it at 38:03. Great shot of Scotty, because Scotty is like, oh, I'd love to see that lead
the head advisor
Placis's face when we're beaming him around, and Spock's like, you can go beam him now. And he's like, the captain did say immediately, did he not? So then
he's like, go for it.
So we've got a scene of Placis and Droxine discussing that Kirk needs the Xenite. And he's like, Placis is like, the Federation's going to destroy our way of life. And they can't beam the fucking, the advisor, because he's standing with Droxine.
Yeah, the Droxine, his daughter. And, Scotty was like, well, I mean, there's two people. And Spock's like, no, you got to wait. Hold on, He's got to be completely separated from this other
he doesn't
person.
Want his girlfriend, Droxine, being exposed to
he only said Placis.
Unseeable gas.
Scotty's like, but he did say immediately, didn't he? And he's like, well, Kirk's going to have to wait. Give her a second.
And while Spock is standing up for her and saying, don't beam her as well, it cuts to her saying, I wasn't talking about Kirk. It's the one with the long ears that I like. Spock. Yeah, his name is Spock.
It's your boy Spock. Fine,
right?
Yeah, he gets a shout out here. She's like, yeah, he was so hot in his ears and talking about all the smart things with him. He can hear so well. I swear to God, he can hear me whisper, and I'm like in the corner of the room and shit. And he's like, when the Placis is like, all right.
Yeah, man.
It's a little weird.
And so he's like, we could try to reach out to Spock and see if we can convince him to help us. And she says, Father, are we so sure of our methods that we never question what we do?
Yeah,
and that's like
line.
her first turn.
Yeah.
And she says, he says, go to your music. And then, boom, they got him locked in. They beam him first to the transporter room, and then they have to beam him from the transporter room down into the mine.
Yeah,
which I think is funny, because on Next Generation, they would just beam him A to C.
Right.
They would just beam from the fucking Stratos to the mine.
That'd be funny if he was like, wow, what's going on? And then he just, if there's a second of delay on the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. And then
Scotty just beamed the rest of him down.
And then Kirk, who looks like he's already kind of kooky from Xenite gas, is telling Placis that he's got to mine the Xenite with his hands, just like everybody else. And then he goes, you too, Vanna, dig!
Yeah, and as soon as they start digging, he gets a ring on his communicator, Kirk, and he picks up all aggressively, and he's like, what's going on? What did you call? And Spock's like, we need a status update, Captain. Just want to let you know you've been in there for about a couple of minutes,
Yeah, well, you've only got 5 hours to get to 5 hours, the fucking...
Yeah. And he says you only have about an hour of air, so maybe you should start speeding things up. And Kirk's like, I don't give a fuck. And he just hangs up.
Yeah, and Kirk says, we'll leave when the gas takes effect.
Yeah, and he's convinced that he hasn't, taken effect yet. And so Kirk just basically kind of just starts to lose it. And
fucking Plassus challenges Kirk to a fight.
He threatens him, and he goes, "You think these fucking things are are you any better with a phaser than with this mining tool?"
Yeah, and then Kirk just throws his phaser.
Yeah.
Like,
Kirk's
I don't even need this
kill,
shit.
Bring it on, fisticuffs.
But Kirk is like, I don't even need this phaser, and he just throws his phaser, and then he fights the guy barehanded when that dude's got 2 weapons. I thought the guy was gonna give Kirk one of the weapons, and they were gonna like duel, but no, Plassus has no pride.
Yeah, a little lame.
And there's a pretty good fight here. There's a lot of Plassus laying on top of Kirk with his cloak covering both of them, so it's like kind of weird. But she picks up the communicator, and she just says, "Help us! Help us! Help us!" And then they're gonna beam. What do they do here? They beam them all out.
Yeah, this is when it starts to turn though, because she she realizes that, hey, her life's in danger and it's bigger than just picking up the phaser and taking over.
Yeah, so she instead of grabbing the phaser and making the situation hers, she gets them to beam out, and Kirk knocks Plassus down on the with a couple of chops on the transporter platform. Yeah. And then he's like, "Ooh, I got to explain this to the Federation."
Yeah, and then Spock comes up to help him, and then the Plassus gets up again, and Bones is like, "Kirk, look out!"
They keep
punches him in the face again, just nails him, and it's like, "Oh my god, this guy's an advisor! Like, chill." And Kirk's like, "Oh shit, I think my plan worked, guys."
Yeah, dude. And then, hilariously, it cuts to Droxine, who's saying, "I don't like masks or respirators. I like the word protector much better." Yeah. And she's like, "Don't you?" And Spock is like, "It is less technical, therefore less accurate, but perhaps more generally descriptive of the function."
What a save.
Yeah, right? He's like, "Actually, it's fucking stupid, but I still think you're hot."
He's like, "It doesn't make the name make sense, but it does sound cool." Yep.
And now they are like arguing with the dude is like, Plassus is like, "Give Captain the Xenite," and she's like,
"I am,
but not because you're telling me to." And she's like, "You could have had those filters all the time, but you didn't." And so like the troglodyte. Oh, here we go. Retardation. Kirk says, "Well, it's what it is." But it was a different time
for sure.
But he says the troglodytes will no longer suffer from retardation because of the filters.
Yeah, he was so ridiculous.
And suffer from the retardation and emotional difficulties. They will all be like her. And he says Plassus says they will all be like her, ungrateful, vengeful. And she says, "Yes, our demands have just begun." Fucking
she's
love
like,
it.
"This revolution's just starting, dude."
Yeah, dude.
Anarchy.
I want to see a show directed by. I want to see a show about that fucking world where they're fighting each other. So then she gives the captain the Xenite. And then they have Spock and Droxine have a touching moment.
Yeah, they gotta finish tie that bow.
And she says, "I will no longer live above the clouds. I will wear a protector and work in the mines." She's a princess, and she's like, "I'm gonna go live on the surface and work in the mines like a common sooty-faced miner." And Spock is like, "Maybe someday I'll visit, and we'll be able to.
Nope.
Maybe when I get to my Pon Farr, I will come back and visit." And and Plassus is like, "As long as I lead here, Kirk, you will never be fucking coming back here." And Kirk's like, "I will come back here. I'm gonna press charges." Yeah, and then they're both talking about these charges that they have against each other. And then Kirk says, "Wait," and Vana says, "Maybe it's best if we forget all of these charges."
Yeah, he's like, "What if they just cancel each other out?"
Right? Like if you're doing division. And he goes, "What about it, advisor? Say it never happened." And he's like, "Yes." He nods. He doesn't even give an affirmative. Yeah.
Embarrassed.
They've only got 2 hours. Kirk goes, "We've got 3 hours left to get that Xenite to aid, blah, 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 blah." And Spock's like, 2 hours and 59 minutes. That's his thing that he does.
Yep.
He's very exact, Spock.
Now they're going to bounce, and then they transport everything. And Droxine is just She misses Spock still.
Staring at the transporter pad, and then boom, cut to remastered shot of them flying away from the red planet in the ship.
Yeah, and a big loud soundtrack.
Big loud booming orchestra. Star Trek, the original series.
And there you have it.
And that's the recap. So, Al, what did you think? What's stuff that you think we'd absolutely have to talk about and haven't mentioned yet?
Nothing crazy. I was just saying this episode just like finally like it feels complete. Like I feel like it's I don't know. It's probably the best one from the season.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It really feels like it stands on its own as a story.
Yeah.
All the motivations are clear, even though it's very ham-fisted and heavy-handed. The reversals and turns are good of the story.
Yeah, exactly. And also the what was it? Just the parallels, obviously, that you can make to any fucking thing that's happening
capitalist
in the world,
society,
yes, it's all still relevant today.
Yes, the parallels are all too when they're like they deserve light and they deserve shelter and stuff. It's just like, oh my god, this is fucking 65 fucking years ago.
Seriously. I know, and they didn't really think about how that, compares to the U.S. Anyways.
Oh, no, they did.
Well, of course. They had to, but it was a nice, refreshing, I guess, palette of that compared to last week's of, like, the whole anti-cult stuff. That was kind of...
Yes, it was
that kind of missed, a little more, but this one kind of hit harder, and I think this one plot line, actually worked on its own. It was really solid. Spock did a great job. Kirk did a great job. All the guest stars did great. And like the intermingling relationships, between Droxine and, what is it? What was the girl's name? Vana. And Colossus and Vana and all that. That was really interesting. Mm-hmm. And I think that, what really tied it all together though was Spock getting his due. I really appreciated that. It was nice how he, kind of, rejected the Kirk's orders for a second, because he was trying to watch Droxine's back by not having them be teleported to the cave right away.
Yeah, well, also that kind of...
But maybe he just knew as a precaution, right?
Mm-hmm. You don't want to confuse the transporter.
Yeah.
You don't want him to turn into, like, a Cronenberg.
Oh, my God, could you imagine?
Right?
Kirk's like, what did you send down here? It's a monster.
Remember when they opened one of their movies with that? Like, that was, like, one of the first things that happened in one of those Star Trek movies.
The ship's fine.
We're ready to go. We just make Cronenbergs. It's fine. And then they don't have the transporter for most of that movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think though. What else really stood out to me? I guess the costumes of the troglodytes, that was pretty cool.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a little stereotypical, it's like, oh, caves, mines, that's dark, deep. Those are the bad people. They're like shadow people.
And they have mole eyes. That's the other thing.
They got dirt on their hands.
Their eyes aren't accustomed to the light.
And we're cloud people. They remind me of like Bespin in Star Wars. It was given that a lot. I kept thinking, like, Cloud City.
They don't even like light.
Yeah, that
their
was so
eyes can't look at light. They wouldn't like it. They don't like warmth.
And Placis too, always conflicting with everyone. That was a great job by Jeff Corey. Shout out to him. And
Placis was great.
Let me think here. Out of 5...
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, I have a couple things I want to mention. I love that Droxine was talking about Ponfar with Spock, and Spock's talking to her about it. Like, that's like, remember how that was a big secret? Like, Ponfar was like this big thing that people outside of Vulcan society aren't really supposed to know about. And there's also a quote where Spock says, "Extreme feminine beauty is always disturbing." Oh, she says, "Is there any way that we can disturb that sequence? Like make Ponfar happen now?"
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, "Extreme feminine beauty is always disturbing."
Oh, and she's like, oh.
And also there's an episode of Star Trek Discovery that's about a haves and have-nots kind of thing, where it's like the have-nots, the miners, are like on the moon and they're at this like age-old conflict with the people on the planet, and then they find out that the people on the moon were just like astronauts that were left there by the people on the planet. Like, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, but it's very similar. But yeah, that's it. So your rating, let's give it Xenites. 1 through 5 Xenite consignments. What did you think?
I would probably, honestly, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It was like a very solid 4 out of 5.
Same. I would say it's a very solid 4 out of 5 as well. I liked it a lot. The guest stars were great. It was a real-ass sci-fi storytelling. The haves in the Cloud City, the have-nots, toiling in the mines, all of it.
I think also, too, the point of this whole podcast, too, that like my friends have told me about is that, you know, it's like, it's us recommending episodes and stuff. I would definitely recommend this one. Like,
Yeah,
this is
one to watch.
Yeah, this one's pretty
one
solid.
that, like, even though you just heard us tell you everything that happens in it, it's still worth watching.
It is still worth watching.
It's one of those. But yeah, so that's it. A 4. We're in sync. We're like Siskel and Ebert, giving the same number of thumbs up. And that was our discussion of the Cloud Minders. And I love that model of Stratus.
Yeah.
So now
the top sound shot, the top geographical stuff.
Oh yeah, and the map shot. Yeah.
Cool.
And so that's it. That's our discussion of that. For content this week to recommend, I found a new anime that I like. I saw somebody post about it on Twitter, currently X, called Undead Unluck. It's a Hulu anime. And it's really fucking good. It's about this guy who can never die, and he's like partnered up with this lady who, if she touches you, something incredibly unlucky happens. So she like charges him up with unluck and then like throws him at people, and then like a meteor hits him. And there's also this, you know, they're part of a round table of other people called negators who have these powers, and the powers are called rules. And it's like a rule that gets written. But I don't want to say anything else. Undead, Unluck. It's very good. It's not... there is a romance, but it's not creepy, like as sometimes happens with these shows. But it's good. Undead, Unluck. Check it out. Al, what do you recommend?
Let's see. I don't know. It's more of... I don't know. I've been watching like a lot of new... TV shows on, you know, I guess on Netflix now. There's been like some murder docs that my girlfriend and I have been watching. There's one like about this woman that goes missing, and it's the husband, and it's all this drama. But then there's more drama happening actually with the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, what are you recommending here? That somebody look at the true crime area of Netflix?
Yeah, pretty much. There's like a lot of entertaining stuff on there.
Are you watching the Menendez brother one?
I watched like a bit of it, but this is where it's more interesting. I don't know. I'm recommending like all the controversy behind the Menendez brother documentaries, because like there's, I think, 2. And the Menendez brothers recommends one, but then not the other.
Well, one is a documentary, and one is the Ryan Murphy TV show.
The Ryan Murphy stuff. Yeah,
on Hulu.
So it's like if you like Ryan Murphy, he's doing his thing with the Menendez brothers.
Wait, did you watch some of the Ryan Murphy show?
I did. I watched the Ryan Murphy one, but now I'm going to watch the other one based on a recommendation from someone else. So I'm like still kind of digging into it.
So you're interested in the Menendez brothers murders in general?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've been there. I was into true crime. Like, I had my true crime phase.
But it's just all the drama around, like, the brothers still being in jail and being like, no, this documentary's good, but this one's all right. But, like, I don't know. These people got it right, but, like, these people didn't get it right.
They're mad at Ryan Murphy.
Weird. Yeah, it's so bizarre. But it's, like, pretty weird to see it with the internet happening in real time, you know? I think that's why it's, like... the hype or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's weird to get into that whole phase again too of like, oh, are we putting these people on a pedestal by like promoting all this stuff too much? Is this too well produced, folks? You know, especially for the victims and all that. But whatever, we'll go down that road later. But that is what I'm recommending.
Watch
the Menendez brothers drama.
Watch the Menendez brothers drama. Decide for yourself. Is murder okay? Yes or no? All right. Well, that's it. So next week.
Oh yeah.
Next week we're going to be discussing season 3, episode 22 of Star Trek: The Original Series. The Savage Curtain. Is that really what it is? Hold on here.
No way. They're very literal names now.
The Savage Curtain.
The Cloud Minders.
That's Abraham Lincoln. The thumbnail for the episode
Wow.
is fucking Abraham Lincoln, and it's called The Savage Curtain. What the fuck could that be? Find out.
Another slavery episode.
Yeah, right? Oh my God. Find out next week on Trek in the Valley. And do all the stuff in the bumper, gang. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam. Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials. And you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.